Look around and see the beauty of the sky. Here for you and me, a wonderful life. Look around and see the beauty of the sky. Here for you and me, a wonderful life. No need to run and hide. It's a wonderful, wonderful life. No need to laugh and cry. It's a wonderful, wonderful life. Here I go, out to sea again. The sunshine fills my hair. Dreams hang in the air.
Right, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. How's everybody doing? Which way, Western man? Depends what asset, my brother. How's everyone doing? I thought we should fire up the stream despite the markets being pretty dull. Well, I've spent an inordinate amount of time playing World of Warcraft the last 2 weeks, maybe? We're Gucci, good to hear it. If my mic goes, or if the music's too loud, or something like that, just shout. Or if it's too quiet, let me know. Ah, you cunt. Someone banned TC from the chat. Fucking hell. I just unplugged it and plugged it back in. For some reason that fixes it. It's like, it's a brand new Blue Yeti and I don't know why it does it. But I'm reluctant to swap it to something else until I find an actual fix. Slow markets allowed you to do plenty of fancy football mock drafts. Excellent. Hello. Oh, have you not heard a word I've said? Brilliant. This microphone is going in the bin. I'm gonna have to like just buy a shitty desktop mic or something. This is the second fucking Yeti I've bought. Ugh, not since the trade fella. Lovely. Well, it looks like we're just pissing money away, so that's fine. Sorry, no, I shouted out Bonkbot. I said that I wish my trading was this smooth. Probably not as this unprofitable on Bybit. But yeah, here we go. Just ape some random dog shit. And what I was saying is that I haven't got much soul left in this account because I aped something. And the more observant of you will be able to see it on the screen, but I'm not about to shell like a 70k fucking low cap and dump it all on your heads after it goes up 10%, because obviously that's what we do. Excellent. Excellent. We'll come back at the end of the stream and that'll be like 1 million market cap. But anyway, good evening. Let's focus on what I'm much better at, which is trading shit like this. So any of you that was looking at my feed earlier, you would have noticed that I long pump. And you know, one of the main reasons that I longed it is simply this. Like, well, firstly, I've had it on the radar for a while. I might need to let's do that. So first off, it's down here, right? Nice bit of strength. And I might have to go full noob because I think I did the plan on full noob setting. Because I've been trying. What do you guys think of these charts in terms of, you know, clean green and red as opposed to the Charlie colours? Just while I'm faffing. Because this was my kind of trade thesis for the outlook at the start of the week that I did in Paragon. I thought, well, do you know what? Pump is due a little bit of a rally. Not necessarily like a full-blown or whatever by Pump Fun to like push it or anything like that. You know, that would be ridiculous. But I hear some people have. I just want a relative strength rotation, which involves an alert here, consolidation here, and breakout of that consolidation. So very simple in terms of like market structure, right? You've got a downtrend into accumulation or into a consolidation, at least if you want to call it accumulation. It's kind of like, well, it'll probably last a long time, and this is the local low and bottom, etc. But for me, that thought process kind of played out. It just never broke out of that kind of mini little accumulation range. This, I guess, could be considered a deviation, and when we got to this show of strength down here, i.e. a real nice move on relative strength, and it started going well above and beyond anything else in the market, you start looking at it very simply like a range low reclaim of this consolidation area, and actually there's a nice little rotation off the back of that, particularly as this, this very low time frame range here, i.e. these highs, bosh, 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 you've got that real strength going into it. And yeah, way back here is when it kind of started to pick up, and then bosh into a ridiculous candle, which I sold some here. So like I did take some off quite quickly, but it was pretty wild in terms of how fast it was. It was nice to see a bit of volatility, and like since then we've just had kind of down only on altcoins, but actually Pump's done okay. So it's kind of been like Pump and Useless have been pretty good in terms of since the local highs on BTC. So, I've been playing, like I said, a lot of World of Warcraft, and I've been having like spaghetti to the side of me, because you can see that like Pump has come massively in play on this rotation. It's not the best rotation we've ever seen, right? It's certainly not like this one here. Certainly not great, but this one was great. This one was a good rotation. It was 20-something% in a few minutes. So, you know, from the start of where it started to show strength, yeah, there's a good 20% move. And a lot of that is like just having it on your radar, having it obviously on Spaghetti. Even now, it doesn't look particularly terrible in terms of like relative strength. It's done pretty well, while the rest of the market has kind of died. So, you know, I'd say still keep it on your radar, and hopefully we get some announcements from the team that say, oh yeah, actually we're doing all this and we're actually going to do something. But I would keep it quite high on your radar, just because it's a very hated coin, and they could quite easily just pull something like this out of their ass, right? How can you add other coins on Spaghetti? You literally press this plus sign here, type in what you want, and add it. So if we wanted to add, you know, Hex, which is obviously one of the greatest. Oh. XUSD. It will be on here somewhere now. And people will be very upset that I've added Hex onto my Spaghetti template, but fuck them. It's my template. So do what we want. But yeah, that's literally it, mate. It's literally that simple. In terms of like pump, you know, for me, the next rotation is hopefully just something like a consolidation and a little mini range, you know, maybe like deviate, reclaim, and go on relative strength. And if you get that, then great. But it's certainly one to kind of keep high on your radar, I think. But anyway, Bitcoin. How are we all enjoying summertime job? Is this the range where you lose both the will to live and your net worth? How are people finding this to trade? I thought I'd ask chat a question and have a little sip of water, but none of you are already typing. Come on. Wake up. Market must be dead. I'm gonna give the first person to chat $100,000. Bosh. Oh, I can't. I lost it all. Soz. $45 down. Rip. There you go. See, there are people there. Baited. Should have just sat out so much uptime, lesson learned. Simply lovely. Weak. Yeah. I think the thing is that I've been saying this in the group, that there's conditions where I'm sat in front of the PC 24/7 and I don't want to miss a minute. I want to literally go, right, you know, these rotations are amazing. They tend not to last that long in terms of those massive like risk on conditions. So like down here, we had them for this, right, for this run, and for this rally here. What am I doing? Where the fuck's my rectangle? Am I being yeah, I am. We had it for this. We pretty much had it for this in terms of like an alt season, you know, or a risk on window. I think that's how we need to start defining things, right? Like, it's not alt season anymore. It's never going to be that easy ever again. Yeah, it's just not. And I don't want to get into like macroeconomic bullshit because I don't understand it fully. But I don't think you're ever going to get to a point where you've got, you know, this crazy kind of combination of emerging technology adoption, money printing out of thin air, you know, everything else and nothing else to do, like, ever again. But that doesn't mean you can't make excessive amounts of money from crypto. You buy 1% of a dogshit meme that's sat at like 70k market cap, and then you hope to wake up one day and it's at fucking $500,000. Do you know what I mean? Like, as in your portfolio balance, not the actual market cap of the project, because that wouldn't really do much for you, would it? But yeah, like, hopefully this consolidates and goes next leg. But my point on this is, you know, risk on window, boring chop, risk on window, chop, risk on window, much shorter risk on window, and hopefully this consolidates, boring summertime consolidation, and then we leg up, right? Similarly to what we went through what feels like months ago now, which was this, you know, this absolute beast. Hopefully it plays out. Hopefully we're just looking at something like this, and just a simple like diagonal meme across here with a range, that, you know, we sold off billions worth of Bitcoin in this, and it wasn't enough to crash the market. It was pretty wild. And I tweeted out something like, "It's not looking good, brevs," and everyone went fucking mental, because apparently you can be balls deep spot with more than most people's net worth, and people still call you a bear and get really upset, even though you tweet a picture of a chart with a line on it. But that is crypto Twitter, right? Course on the rotations, but it goes between low and high intraday. If I miss the entry, then there's nothing to do. Yeah, sitting on hands. Hey Charlie, thanks for the stream. Can we take a look at the most useless coin? Yeah, sure, man. We can definitely talk about my bags. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I mean, it's just dull, and people will force a lot of trades and lose a lot of money, I think, in this kind of meta, right? Especially when I don't see there being like a big narrative out there at the moment, right? It's nice to see like a bit of Solana narrative, like Fartcoin useless, kind of pumping a little bit, and Burt obviously, but you know, really, is there like a Solana summer? Is there anything else particularly going on? Yeah, I don't think so. It was easy when there was an AI narrative and just anything with AI in it was pumping. I'm sure there will be something similar in the future. Quite what it is, whether it's robotics or something like that, who knows, right? Quantum resistant, maybe, as we start getting to that era of maybe the quantum computers can smash Bitcoin encryption and all that. And I know the nerds say that that's miles off, but I don't think it's as far off as people think. So yeah, you know, buying in this consolidation range with kind of an invalidation under here, not so bad. Now obviously I'm long from like down here and down here or wherever. I did try and short. I think I tried to short here, or maybe it was here, and then I got stopped out here. So, you know, I have taken a loss on this journey up, but yeah, so far it's looking pretty tasty. My personal bags then, in terms of like, you know, well, let's go, what do I think the next leg is for BTC? I think it's up. I think buying deviation is, you know, that was good. I actually put that exact plan in the Paragon group that whilst I was tweeting, it's not looking good, brevs. All I had was, what was it? Oh, I might delete it now. If it reclaims, it's the best place to buy some in terms of if you're offside and you don't own any Bitcoin. If Bitcoin dominance is still looking pretty good, you know, everyone's kind of given up on the whole alt season thing. You know, we had the big drop already. That was the big risk on alts, and now strong bounce back, high or low. You know, I can't see why Bitcoin dominance doesn't kind of continue to go up, especially with ETH not being as strong as obviously it has been. Again, we take the same simple setup of run it turbo, range, take the former highs. You know, that is my usual kind of shorting pattern. It's that or run it turbo and lower high, get short there, either sweep this high and come back under, or here. You know, nice little hedge. It's not like you short to make excessive amounts of money. You'll always make more money on the long side because, you know, you can long something and it can go up literally infinity. Whereas on the short side, that's a bad example, 24%, lamau. But, you know, on the short side, you can only ever get to 99.9%. Yeah, bosh. That's the kind of stuff that you want, not something like this, minus 94%. But at least the execution was good in terms of bonkbot, right? Like, that was decent. Cooker. It's buying passive income. 60k market cap. Interesting. I do love the trenches. The trenches are absolutely wild. Hello, bro. Chart Nillion? What? What? No. I've got a pointless coin. Ooh. Probably a better ape in terms of in terms of like meta of worthless, useless, etc. But anyway, let's jump off this. Let's go back to Ethereum and chat about that a little bit. Yeah, I'm pretty like not super bearish ETH. I just think it needs to cool off. You know, that was a pretty parabolic run in terms of move. This short is like just a protection in case the actual market just fucking dies for a period of time, right? I'm a trader, I trade both ways. Like if it dies, who cares? Because we're in a short position. If it runs back turbo, you can close a break even and now everything's fine, right? Or even flip long at resistance basically and assume that that's going to be the next leg of the market. Like, not rocket science, nothing particularly redonkulous, but it was the same discussion we had last time and exactly the same chart on there, right? For ETH, BTC and just general lack of strength. I mean, I really hope that, that you know, I'm wrong and that, you know, like these kind of shitty divs in terms of both momentum and yeah, it's kind of a little bit played out, but whatever, we'll fucking take it. You know, don't play out, but it's undeniable that it's there, right? You've got a pretty clean div on ETH BTC, and ETH has done the sweep of the range high and come back into it, so I'm not going to be bullish on ETH for the short term. Simple as that. Bonk is a coin that I really wanted to have like on my radar, and I did do. I actually put it on this setup, I think. Well, that was way back then. Which one did I do it on? Maybe it was this. Yeah, so I got my alert tagged, and what I was looking for is like plays at either extremes of the range. Now, I was actually out for this one, thankfully, otherwise it would have cost me money, because it didn't turn into anything, but it was genuinely a good rotation. The one at the bottom of the range pinged off, and then there was literally no relative strength. And if there's no relative strength, and by that I mean there's no decent strength on Spaghetti versus BTC and, importantly, other alts. So, you know, Farcoin, really good relative strength right now. Ton, really good relative strength. You know, perp USDT, why the fuck would you long perp USDT when you could long Bitcoin, which has thicker books, better liquidity? Like, it's going to be better to buy Bitcoin generally than something that's moving exactly the same as it. But yeah, that was my like bonk, and I'd still be on the lookout for a range reclaim. So, you know, really simple invalidation, really simple thought process, if it can get some relative strength back, right? If. And it is a big if. You know, I won't take these trades if there is no relative strength. But, yeah. Ah, 1 hour bull div. Let's have a look. Quite probably looking at that. It's a bit far apart from me. So I tweeted this, or no, I put it in the group this morning. And I closed at break even because, you know, I'm a paid group leader, so I always say that. You never take a loss. No, actually, I did put it in there and say, look, you know, why aren't you playing these rotations, Charlie? It's like, because they start off quite good, and it's like 2%, and then they're just weak as fuck. Yeah, just weak. Yeah, I closed it around here. So I closed it when this started dying. That was probably some of the reason that candle is so fucking horrendous. Yeah, but your question, and I was actually looking for a long here, grinding in this. I was waiting for some relative strength, and it just never came. And I never had the balls to flip short, because that would have been a fucking lovely trade. And normally when I see like rounding off weakness like that, I'd aggressively short in shit conditions like these. But I've been kind of holding off the red buttons. It just triggers everybody, and the only time I want to actually do it is when we're fading something like ETH, you know, the strong run up and the sweep of the highs, or something like this on another coin. So yeah, back to your question. Is this an hourly bull div? It is, in the sense of, let me just go through, like, there is a divergence there in terms of you've got consistently lower lows, and then you've got consistently higher lows. The reason that I don't like this is because usually you'd have it like next to each other like that. Like that's the hourly div there, right? That's an actual actionable hourly div. But this is kind of not, because a couple of reasons. So firstly, this has kind of played out and rotated, and you've had that like mean reversion trade, which was this, back towards, like, if you put a moving average on there, right? Nah, it's not bad doodle. It's kind of come back towards the mean, failed, and then carried on. This is the reflection of that, and it went from being at an extreme to not being, to then being at an extreme again. Now, you can discern from it that momentum is getting slightly better towards the upside, but does it make it like an actionable and perfect div? No. So it's one of those. If I saw this, right, alone, I wouldn't take that trade. Nope, not at all. If I saw this with some relative strength, like this, that's when it becomes a bit more actionable, and that's where it becomes a little bit more like, okay. So it's still like a B tier setup, right? It's definitely not the best you're gonna get. I haven't actually got any levels down here. I obviously didn't expect Filecoin to go so low. But you are pretty much at that high time frame pivot. So in terms of like an area to risk on, it's not a bad area. And yeah, we've got a bit of relative strength on there because it's like literally the best coin in this rotation. Probably a little bit late to it in this rotation, but yeah. Oh, it's janky as fuck. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, this is where you want to be. This is where you want to be executing, down on the 5 minute, like that, into a little consolidation. I'd have loved to along that, even though it didn't work out. But that's the kind of pattern that I really like. Even a little mini range reclaim off this big sell-off, but yeah, you'd have had to be really quick. You'd have had to be on the 1 minute chart, and you would almost have to have been like looking at Filecoin and wanting to long it, because you've just got this combination of this little range and consolidation. You've got a little reclaim here on huge relative strength, and when you're reclaiming a range on a huge relative strength, that's kind of the sweet spot. It's really, really good, really positive for a good rotation. So yeah, I know I've given you a really long answer to a really fucking simple question there, but it's because the answer is pretty complex for me. It's not a simple, oh yeah, it's a bull div, I'm going to buy it. It's where is it diverging? Is the divergence kind of valid? Is it like a clean div or not? Is it just like consistent higher lows and consistent lower lows in price? Is it like that, which is really clean, or is it like the one that we just saw, which is kind of like this, which is, has this massive kind of rotation in between it? So hopefully that's kind of given you a bit of an insight as to what I think is a good trade versus what I think's not necessarily a bad one, but just worse. So what else have I got? I'm personally round tripping some Litecoin, which is great. I still think kind of as long as it holds above this 101 area, it's good. I've got a pretty decent sized bag of SPX. I'm holding that until we change structure, essentially. It's one of the strongest coins out there. It's been really, really good. I wanted some Filecoin, I wanted some Bunk. I want to trade both of those, but it's not been the case. And say, I think we charted this on stream actually, but yeah, kind of is what it is. I didn't ever take it. What else we got? We got things like XRP, and if XRP comes back down and tags mild alert, then I'll be interested in it. But yeah, there's lots of stuff I'm kind of loosely watching, but it's just not very risk on, right? It's just not particularly great. ETC's had its little moment in the sun. Again, it's a similar kind of chart pattern of just strong downtrend with the momentum starting to change. You hit that 50 in terms of like your 12-hour or Even like when you get back to it on the daily, you know, it's pretty much perfect in terms of like, this is where momentum is going to change. So just, you know, how did you construct this trade? Why did you think of ETC? It's that. And, you know, we might get the same thing again, right? So let's delete this and like, let's not try and fucking clout chase for old fucking tweets, old fucking trade ideas. You know, we're kind of in this era where ETH has been really, really strong. So it's reasonable to assume that ETC is going to be pretty strong again sometime as well, yeah? And if we do the classic leg up, you know, on a parabolic move, sell off, consistent lower highs, maybe do something like this, either play a reclaim of that range there, or play a breakout of the diagonal here, assuming that ETH is breaking out as well, and we're actually getting some relative strength on ETH, yeah? Because the thought process will always be that ETH leads into ETC, and that ETH leads it. That makes sense. We've done some good stuff so far. I think we've covered off a few little lessons in there. If anyone wants any life lessons as well, then just fire them out there. Fire out your questions. Maybe we can help someone with something. Lots of chart requests tonight. Are people down bad on their bags? How do you get rich? That's a good question, and it depends on your morals, doesn't it? The question that I'd ask you back is, what's your moral status? Crime does pay. You know. Just become a drug lord or something. And the old meme answer is obviously you become rich when you find yourself and you're happy with your life. There's kind of nothing more than that, and that can mean that you wake up every day and you paint. You wake up every day and you listen to music, or you get to record music. You play computer games. You do whatever makes you happy. You know, that's it. We can have a look at hype. A lot of people have been sharing hype. Well, look, there's the old ENA entry. Bosh. ENA's great in terms of like a charted, well, sorry, in terms of like a chart. Yeah, because it's kind of every strong move with a stronger pullback, and that's exactly what I keep trying to tell people in these kind of trends you should expect, right? The further up we go, the further down we'll go. The further up we go, the further down we go, etc., etc. And this is like a beautiful illustration of that. Real strong parabolic rotations. Bosh, bosh, bosh. You know, is it reasonable to think that this will be a good run? Or sorry, a good trade again? Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's been leading the pack quite a lot. But you know, wait for the consolidation of the downtrend, i.e., this, the same thing that we talked about on pump. Wait for a range to establish, or at least, at the very least, a break a diagonal on relative strength, because, you know, we've already kind of breached that 50 on the 4 hour. We've got a nasty looking kind of double top across these highs in terms of RSI. You know, strong move, nice like divergence if you squint. That's, you know, slightly lower than that one, etc., etc. Which you would expect, right? It's not too bad. It just says that there's going to be a pullback. This is the start of it, or at least this is, you know, a good part of it. And you want to see that consolidation or sign of strength, i.e. change in market structure, you know, form a higher low here before jumping on board, or at least I do. I'm obviously not giving you financial advice. This is all educational purposes only. Yada, 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 yada. But yeah, you know, why would I be buying a downtrend, like a strong sell-off on a downtrend? Good stuff, thanks. Why do you Brits love Bert? Must be something us burgers don't connect with. Maybe Elmo is our Bert. Yeah, maybe Elmo is your Bert. It's just a dog meme, mate. Like, that was it. Ran for, like, the New York mayor and all this kind of stuff. Got the front of New York Times and all this stuff. You know, like, before he died, he was a pretty good dog. And it's a good meme, and obviously we all bought a fuck ton of it. And, yeah, now it's just kind of ping-ponging. But I haven't touched my bag. I don't know if anyone else has, but yeah, I guess memes in general have not done particularly well. Again, structurally it doesn't look terrible in terms of resistance, 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 support, support, support. You know, this is kind of where you want it to hold in terms of high, very high time frame kind of market structure, right? You know, it's just about a higher high here, that'll be a higher low, and then hopefully it can trend accelerate and go. I own a lot of this, you know, full disclosure. Like, I will dump it like way, way, way up here, or I will ride it to fucking zero. I don't care which. I do, obviously. I'd much rather it be this, or you know, dollar up here somewhere. But yeah, my risk, my reward, all that kind of stuff. I kind of have to take a risk on some meme coins at some point. The end of the cycle probably isn't it, but these things still holding consolidation, just waiting for something to happen. Yeah, I think so. Like, and this is why I keep wherever my desync chart is, I keep saying the same thing, right? Yeah, a good project can remain a good project forever, but just because it's there, have I deleted it? Oh, surely not. I must have accidentally deleted it when I was sorting shit out. Mildly annoying, but you know, I've always said the same thing on these. So you can go back to my old streams and just be like, the only time I would have bought it is this, when it broke out of this accumulation range. You know, buying stuff in these ranges to me is just really pointless. Like, I would rather take the chance here, right, wherever, that it's going to break out and start trending, than hold this for fucking weeks, months, years into the future, yeah? Bosh, 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 bosh. And then finally it breaks out, hey, I was right on that trade. Yeah, but you could have had like 15 other trades in this time. I'm not saying that it will be profitable or anything like that, but you could at least deploy that capital in different places. So the kind of time cost, the opportunity cost rather, of having that capital allocated to something that isn't moving is massive. You know, when we were in super bullish conditions way back when, one of the things that I used to do was just go through charts. I downloaded all the Binance charts, so just like full watch list, import it, draw a little box on it, set an alert where I might be interested, set alert, bosh, done. Now that trade is coming to me. As soon as that pings, because I knew we were in super bullish conditions, standard risk like trade, just here, bosh, bosh. You know, trades all came to you, play the rotation. And if you lose that trade, absolutely fine, because what you've lost there is just the simple cost of you, I guess, balancing out the time opportunity of having that capital to deploy in other rotations as and when they occur. And like I said, if you were looking at like this, you know, you could miss out on literally hundreds of decent trades in this time. Now, I'm not saying like Q1 2026 is going to be bullish or bearish or any bullshit like that. I'm not a fucking forecaster like that. Yeah, that's the point is, you know, you can only choose when you deploy your capital and where on the chart you want to deploy it. Now, some people will buy like this kind of dip, absolutely fine. Play it however you want. That's just how I play it. Did you use TPO and volume profile in the past? No. I use fixed range volume profile sometimes, just to do, you know, very simple kind of drawing of of ranges essentially, and just assume that, not assume, sorry, just, what is that being? Okay, fine. So yeah, I'll do it on BTC then. We'll do it on Daddy Bitcoin. But let's take that off. That was our kind of when's risk on versus risk off. Yeah, I use fixed range visible profile, which is kind of, why is it not working? Fine. Oh, it hasn't got all my shit on. Alright. Hey, it calculated there, motherfucker. Because the row size is too low or too high? I'm guessing it's because it's too low. There you go. Right, so this just shows you, just draws the range out for you, range highs, range lows, essentially. Fixed range volume profile, just based on the volume, where was most of it transacted, it's here. So we're kind of at or around that point of control, which isn't particularly great in terms of price action. I certainly don't want to trade anywhere near that. I want to trade at extremes. I want to trade at where we're, far away from value, because when you're at value, it's more likely to just get stuck there. Yeah, trading here is just awful. Awful. Right? But in terms of like TPO is not too different to this. It's just time price opportunity, obviously, and Magus has got some great videos on that. What was the other one you asked for? Volume profile. I mean, so yeah, this is like fixed range volume profile, but I don't really, I don't trade off it massively. I just use it to kind of confirm my bias, because I can see ranges, like I've got eyes. I don't really need this to kind of do anything other than just check my bias. Any thoughts on Saros? No, not really, mate. Up and to the right, isn't it? Thought it was the Burt, all the Burt IRL stuff. I think I thought it was Paddington Bear. Yeah, I mean, I think he was supposed to be doing some stuff as Paddington Bear, but never did, because the fucker died. That explanation just saved us a fuckload of time, effort, stress and money. Thanks, man. We sometimes need the obvious shown to us. Yeah, I don't know which part that you're referring to, but that's kind of the point of these streams, mate, and I'm really glad, like, it's helping. I think that I kind of want to be... I kind of need to redefine myself on Twitter, I think, because I want to be the person that I wish I'd found when I first started trading. I think that's probably the best way of doing it. So I kind of, after summer probably, because I actually do want to spend some time with my daughter and my wife and stuff before the summer is ended, and the rain isn't constant, because I am English, as you might be able to deduce from my accent. That I kind of want to go back to basics type thing. And just, yeah, like if I could turn back time and do things slightly differently, I'd definitely go to higher time frame charts, and I'd probably say the easiest thing to do is have a system that is like a daily based system that is a combination of RSI and trends, because like literally if you're buying at extremes and selling at extremes, you are probably going to play high time frame rotations pretty well. Looking at this, like, yeah, okay, it's a small sample size, but if you can just literally put a couple of points on a chart that says like you should think about selling at extremes, and think about buying at the opposite extremes, like you probably outperform a lot of people. Now if you can combine that with price action, you'll do pretty well, right? Because yeah, you don't necessarily just want to blind buy the first dip. You want some form of like price action to give you a reason to enter. But yeah, if I could start again, I'd just make something really simple instead of going into low time frame rotations, which are tough, to be honest, and they're tough in these conditions. I'm not gonna lie. The box scenario, if you're allowed on breakout trading extremes, yeah, perfect. Yeah. Genuinely, like you can spend. It feels really productive as well. So when you are sat there going, shit, I don't know what to do. Like there's no trade in trades in the market. This is really boring. How do I actually like make this time valuable? You can go and watch videos, you can go and learn some stuff from other traders, you can research TPO, or do whatever as tickles your fancy. You can go over your journal results and really examine some of the moods you were in on certain days, whatever. Or you can find some areas that you're interested in bidding certain things. Even like Bitcoin, I used to do it with Bitcoin a lot more of just like, where would I want to buy? Maybe it's here. Maybe I've just got an alert like under here because I think we get a flush. We come back into this area, bosh, you know, set an alert. I don't know, like condition, yeah, price, horizontal, open-ended. Yep, let's just go. Message, alert name. Holy fuck, it's over. Yeah, bosh. Like, get that ping to your phone or email to you. Job's a good one. What's the bottom indicator called? Looks like MACD. Yeah, it's awesome oscillator. To use general software, yes, it's in my bio. Trader, make money. But I haven't really used it properly for a long time because I just look at my P&L on Bybit and say, is it green? Is it up and to the right? Yes. Yeah, it's just awesome oscillator. So the awesome oscillator, really simply, is just the difference between two EMAs. So you've got an EMA like that and an EMA like that. And the awesome oscillator is this colored bit here. But just flattened out. So it's like that. That's all it is. It's just momentum. I'll get rid of that because it looks a bit weird, doesn't it? Right, it's 10 to 8. I've probably got 10 more minutes in me. So if people want to ask anything, I'd like it if people ask like a intelligent question, not can you chart my dog shit coin. So useless is a bit of a mess in terms of this trade and this rotation. You know, again, same thesis of diagonal, break, good relative strength, etc, etc. I'm just going to delete all this because it's messy as fuck, but you could see it. It's now round tripped. The thing that I don't like about useless, although I think the coin is great, is that like these highs are just kind of getting pretty weak now. Like, look at that momentum drop off on these highs. Look at that. Just, ugh. Not good. I think I'm going to take a pretty decent chunk of my bag off, which I bought like down here and didn't fucking tweet about it because you're not allowed to tweet about low caps. So, yeah, it went minus 75% and then it just fucking ran. One of those absolute... I just thought it was dead, I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was fucking dead. And it turns out it was not. So we're just thankful for that. But yeah, from a market structure perspective, it's still worth holding because it's kind of consistent higher lows. But as soon as it starts to break that, that's where I don't want to be the bag holding. And that's when, you know, the bag's a decent size now. So I'll be chunking it out. But someone asked me to chart useless. I think for me, like literally, you know, meme diagonal plus market structure, which is, you know, you can be really aggressive and be like that as the low instead of this low if you really want it to be. But it's something like that that says, no, this trend is over, at least for now. You know, I think it will kind of continue to go up. And, you know, if you start losing the EMA as well, yeah, it's probably this one on the basis that it's EMA and local low. So if we start doing that, then that's where I should jump out. I can always jump back in, right? What's my favorite trading quote? I don't really have one, to be honest. I think there's a lot of stuff. You know, I tweeted one before the stream, which I kind of heard and quite liked, which is the market doesn't want you to win, so you need to become someone the market can't destroy, which is all about just like resilience and just about like standing up to the market even in times like this, right? So like it's tough, it's difficult, but you need to never put yourself in a position where you can be fucking annihilated. But I'll have a think about like trading quotes. There's kind of loads of good ones. I actually quite like the if you don't manage your risk, the market will manage it for you one, which is ironic because it was Suzu, who obviously blew up 3 AC Capital, or 3 Arrows Capital rather than 3 Arrows Capital. And yeah, that's just hilarious to me. You said you wish you went from high time frame in the beginning. What is high time frame to you? The 4-hour up, daily up. It's anywhere between the hourly chart and above, basically, because to me, like, the hourly isn't a terrible place to take an entry from, and the reality is, like, this would be a shit trade, but you got a range here, you got a deviation, you got a reclaim, lovely, like, ignore this fucking ridiculous wick, it's not bad. Like, I kind of consider, like, medium time frame, like 15 minutes to an hour. That's kind of medium, because when you start going into hourly setups, it typically takes days from the amount of time like a normal person can be at a computer to take the trade, right? Like, you can take 30-minute trades if you're a full-time employee, yeah? When it gets to the hourly chart and you're waiting for candle closes and, you need a few to actually, like create a range, it starts getting a bit more tricky, I guess. But time frames are relative. In super bullish conditions, 30 minutes is a lifetime. In times like now, 30 minutes isn't very long at all. Is USDT.D on your radar? Something looking at it? No. I mean, they're all really kind of interesting indicators, right? But, like, how do I put it? I struggle to find them, like, particularly actionable. Good sentiment and Twitter bait. But, like, market cap USDT dominance. Like, this would say that, like, stablecoins have just dominated the run-up, to Jan 23. And then in Jan 23, they started coming down. And, if this is just USDT, well, that's kind of okay, but that's not all the stablecoins. And not only is that not all the stablecoins, so, you're missing out, like, BUSD and USDC and all that kind of stuff. But, like, yeah, that doesn't correlate to what actually happened in terms of, like, yeah, this has gone up a lot. But, like, in 2021, okay, well, is that the bull run? Like, this was, the crash. Yeah, okay, get that. Yeah, okay, maybe it does, I guess, but, like, it doesn't really, from a trend perspective, give you a decent, actionable indicator, I don't think. Maybe I just haven't used it or backtested it enough, so no is the short answer, my friend. Hey Charlie, I've been following you for the last 2 months, good stuff in here. Do you trade every day? It's my first year in trading, tough business. It is tough, yeah, a lot of people don't tell you that, though. How's it on my side? Yeah, it's up and down, mate. I mean, like, the last couple of weeks, I've been kind of doing this, I've probably, like, done this. It's been pretty dull. A couple of weeks before that, I hit some absolute banger trades, really nice run. Gave a little bit back at the top, as is standard. I always do that. That's kind of always my plan. It's not what I want to do, obviously. I'd never like to lose a fucking trade in my life, but that's not reality. Yeah, it's been slow for me. I've not taken many trades, and some of them I've taken a round trip, some of them I've lost, some of them I've given back more than I should have, like Litecoin. Litecoin was like this, and now it's like, lost the range and it's kind of coming back to entry, but que sera, is what it is. Do I trade every day? No, I trade Monday to Friday typically. I will occasionally trade on weekends, but I keep the weekends free for my wife and daughter. I don't need to trade every day. There's no need for me to be sat at the computer every day. I do it more because I like it than I need to be honest. But I'm in a very fortunate position because I've seen 3 bull runs, so I should be in that fortunate position. So yeah, I think weekends are odd to trade anyway. But obviously I don't trade them every weekend, so I'm probably not qualified to say. With FOMC, tomorrow is the best not to take any trades. I've heard toxic trading FOMC can be profitable. I mean, it can be. This is the thing, is it's like, there was a period like in 2023 where we'd wait for FOMC, and that's kind of all we traded. We traded around FOMC, and it was, to be honest with you, it was more of a guessing game. More of like see what happens in terms of PA, and yeah, it was kind of tough to trade, I think, because the price action was not manipulated. I'm trying to think of a word that's kind of like, it's just very subjective to the outcome of the event, and that's a weird weird place to be, I suppose. You know, it's no different, I guess, to presidential elections. And when Trump got in, obviously the market went wild. If Kamala Harris had got in, the market probably would have absolutely tanked. So, you know, that was quite binary. Whereas for FOMC, it's much less binary, right? It's much more like, oh, the interest rate's held. Okay, well, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Like, everyone's kind of expecting it to be held. So have they risked on the off chance that it might run? Have they have they hedged on the basis that it might go down? Like, you get into all these kind of weird positioning games, and I'm not smart enough to understand it all, right? I'm not gonna lie. Interest rates go down, I get that. You know, that's kind of a good thing in terms of people can borrow more, invest in more, business cycle's good, etc, etc. But, yeah. Also bad because the US is in, like, a good $1 trillion of debt, so it's weird. So you can trade it and be profitable. I would suggest that if you're not used to it and you're not used to that level of volatility, that you just play with a small amount, right? If you want to try and trade it, then trade it. Become a FOMC trader. You know, I personally don't think that there's an edge in trading FOMC, or I can't find one, and therefore I've got very little interest in trying to trade it, if that makes sense. But you know, you might be able to glean some edge out of it. How much look at order flow, XOView, at volume profiles? None. Love to put a trade on Sunday to get rinsed on Monday. Yeah, it happens a lot. Have you shared your most recent thoughts on Bert? Yeah, I literally shared it earlier in the stream, mate. I will jump back to it though, because why not? Like, for me, what's that? Resistance, 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 support, support, support. Simple as that. Structure, you know, high, low, bosh, go again. That's it. That's all I want to see. Hopefully we get a bit of a risk on move in general. And hopefully that coincides with a break of Bitcoin at the highs. You're a gent, Charlie. Thanks for the advice. It's not advice, not financial advice. Come on. I'm joking, obviously. It's not advice, but it is. It's just my experience, I guess, and it's just, you know, my experience with trading markets, which is up and down. You know, I haven't won every trade. My win rates are anywhere between 30 and 50%, depending on whether the month is risk on, risk off. It's been as low as like 20% before, and I've still made money, which is something that people don't understand, because, you know, I can lose a trade like this, and then I can win a trade like this. You know, that have obviously got like the same positioning size. So, you know, you're taking a 0.001 or 0.009% loss, and that still counts as a loss. But as long as I'm managing my risk, and, you know, every time I lose, I'm getting cut very small, whereas when I'm winning, it's very big. And a lot of people do, like, someone said to me on the timeline the other day, and one of my friends actually sent it to me, and he was like, yeah, I've never quite been able to put it as articulately, but he said he laughs because they replied to me and said, every time I see one of these fucking high RR trades that you post, I laugh and think it's a meme, and then it fucking plays out. And I'm like, yeah, this is kind of like how I trade. It's like a lower win rate but high risk reward. Like, this is ridiculous, right? This one is ridiculous. I'll give you that. But in terms of like when I'm trading low time frames, you know, I am usually pretty aggressive in terms of like how wide my risk reward profile actually is. So, you know, if I'm looking at this here, right, and I'm looking at a breakout of Farcoin, like, it's going to be something like this. It's going to be like literally like local candle, and I'm going to be kind of trying to run it to the highs. Like, I'm not saying like I'm gonna just jump off stream and take this trade, but pretty good fucking beer actually, maybe. But yeah, it's, you know, 9-hour trade. Like, I'm pretty ballsy with what I go for. It's actually quite nice. Especially if we can start some low time frame momentum, but it doesn't look like it yet. Yeah, I think that's probably it. We've done ETH, mate. Talked about ETH a lot. Shorted the shit out of that bastard. Yeah, there we go. There is the coiniest of farts. We'll see if it actually turns into a rotation or if it just gets fucking cucked. Yeah, I think that's probably it for tonight, boys. Your bags are drowning. I think this is why you kind of need to go into every single trade with a plan. Even if it's a spot bag, like, and you're quite within your right to accept the risk on a spot bag and say, do you know what? My risk on my spot bag is 100% of it going to zero. You know, it's absolutely fine to do that. But doing that after you've taken on the risk and in a scenario where, you know, you can't really change anything, that's kind of not the ideal situation. I know it's very unhelpful, but, you know, think about what you can do better next time, I suppose, is the message in terms of, how do I put it? Having a plan, going into it, you know, with a plan. Charlie, the last thing, you can look at Doge 1 hourly div. Oh look, bosh, there it goes. Fucking hell. Fucking aye, lad. Again, it's a bit janky in terms of, like, it's kind of played out, like, and it hasn't, because that's not a divergence, right? But, like, I don't want to see this. I don't want to see this, like, strong break of downtrend, move up to the 50 in terms of RSI. Like, that, you're moving from an extreme to, you know, a balanced mean reversion trade, essentially. And that, to me, is like, that's the move. That would be the div. This is, like, not the div, because you've moved back to a kind of mean and a balanced market, and now you're just coming back. As I kind of said earlier, it's, you can note it from a momentum perspective, but you can't, like, action it by itself, if that makes sense. Or at least I can't in my kind of system. Alright? So, the music has stopped, quite literally. The party is over, or certainly coming to an end. Thank you all for being here. Obviously, hopefully I've helped you with some things. Hopefully I've given you some ideas to trade around. Hopefully I've given you some thoughts to take away with. If you enjoyed the stream, obviously I would love it if you liked it. If you subbed to my channel, so I could tell my mum, who's actually downstairs, that I've got, you know, more than 5,000 subscribers on YouTube, etc. That'd be amazing. And finally, if you'd be so kind, if you're trading on chain, go and sign up to BonkBot, try out telemetry. I've put the link in the chat because I'm now a Reflink Shiller, but it's no skin off your nose. If you don't want to do it, absolutely fine. If you are trading on chain, give it a blast, give it a go. It's pretty epic. And I will love you and leave you, and I will see you next week. Au revoir.